So let's begin in a comfortable seat where your sit bones are spread out and settled into the ground. Your spine is nice and long. Crown of your head and heart both reach up. Shoulders relax down your spine. Beginning to tune into the wave-like motion of your breath. The natural rhythm of your breath, in and out. And then beginning to grow your breath just a little deeper, a little slower. Wait for a nice big inhale. Take your arms up and out to the sides, all the way up above your head. Exhale, stretch your fingers out, shoulders away from your ears, and then palms come down behind you, taking your feet out to about shoulder width apart, and then just allow your knees to drop down to one side and then to the other. Feeling free to color outside the lines with any of these poses. You want it all to feel really good, kind of maintaining a sense of fluidity. And then allow both knees to fall over to the right. Take your right hand back behind you, and then big inhale, sweep your left arm all the way around towards the right, so you come into a nice gentle spinal twist and a little bit of a hip opener. You can readjust your legs and spine so it feels good. Make sure that your spine stays nice and long, and then if it feels good, you can come down onto your elbows, breathing here. So as you breathe, try and bring your attention down your spine all the way to the bottom to your sacrum, a triangular bone that is where your spine articulates with your pelvis. It's the seat of your sacral chakra, which is a really powerful energy center. It's our center of creativity, of fluidity, of our sense of duality and the balance between opposites. So you can kind of invite that energy in for your practice today. Good. And then wait for an inhale. Press into your hands. Gently come on out the same way you came in. Big swoop with that left hand, coming back to center. And then shake your legs out. You can bring your feet back out in front, wiggling the knees. Let it feeling really good and opening and juicy in the hips, keeping your heart open so you're not putting too much pressure in your shoulders. Good. And then set it on up. Both knees come to the left. Big swoop with that right arm all the way around like you're clearing your energy field, and then find a comfy spot to stay. So you can stay up on your hands if you have more space there. If it feels better to surrender down a little bit onto your forearms, that's fine. And finding that sense of balance between movement and stillness, even in these still postures, your whole body expands and extends a little bit on your inhales, and everything can soften a little bit more on your exhales. So tune in, allow yourself to experience that. And even here in your twist, you're growing your breath a little smoother, a little slower. Full cycles of breath all the way to the top, and then all the way to the bottom till your belly pulls in just a little bit. And then when you're ready, wait for an inhale. Spread your fingers out, press into your hands, carefully helping yourself up and out of the pose. Same way you came in, big sweep with the right arm now all the way across. And then you can shake it out just a little bit more before gently finding yourself on your hands and your knees. Hands are shoulder width apart, right underneath your shoulders. Knees are hip width distance apart. Getting nice and long through your spine first, and then with an inhale, arch your spine, cow pose. Exhale, round your spine to cat. So back and forth. Use this as an opportunity to really grow your breath like a wave, starting from your pelvis as you drop your belly down on your inhales. Exhale, rib cage lifts up, belly button pulls in. Back and forth, getting the entire spine involved. Again, starting from your hips, working all the way into your head, keeping your face relaxed. And then you can take yourself out of just your normal cat-cow, kind of wiggling your spine around in any way that feels good. Slithering like a little snake, maybe drawing circles. Staying connected to your breath, though. So let it all be a nice fluid dance between your breath and your movements. And then find yourself back at center. Inhale to cow, arching your spine, heart and head reach forward. And then keep that extension as you sit your hips up and back, downward facing dog. So take a few breaths here to get comfortable, maybe micro bend in your knees. Your sit bones are spreading away from each other and your tailbone is reaching away up towards the sky. Arms are nice and strong, heart melts down towards the floor, face stays relaxed. Don't ever worry about getting your heels all the way on the ground. And then wait for a nice big inhale. Take your right leg straight up behind you, reaching out through that heel. And then exhale, bend your knee and open up your hip. So those hips are stacked sideways towards the right. You've got a nice big opening on that right side and kind of reaching out. You can kind of wiggle that leg around so it's a nice good stretch to that front and side of your abdomen there. Staying really long and even through your arms and shoulders. And then wait for a big inhale. Reach up through that heel, straighten your legs, square your hips. Exhale, bring your right knee across to your left tricep and holding there, pulling your belly in for a few breaths. Staying strong, pressing into the floor, pressing with both your hands and your back foot. Keep your belly strong, hold in there. Last exhale. And then wait for an inhale. Stretch it all the way back up, three-legged dog. Exhale, step your foot through between your hands, lower your left knee down. And then inhale up to a low crescent lunge. Keep your tailbone pointed down to the ground so there's not too much of an arch in your low spine. And allow it to feel really good. So you want to be squeezing your thighs together. They're not actually moving, but that energy through the midline is activated all the way to your sacrum and then up through your heart and through your hands, active through the fingers. Big inhale, lift up a little more. And then exhale, straighten your front leg, sitting your hips straight back. Don't let them wiggle side to side. Ardha Hanumanasana, half split. And then you can make any little adjustments that you need. I kind of like to have my hip over my knee on the left side. And once you find a nice stretch, come back to your breath. Find that fluidity, that movement. On every inhale, you can reach your spine a little further forward. On every exhale, you can settle in and enjoy the sensation a little bit more. 3 breaths. And then wait for another inhale. Readjust your feet. Inhale, bend that front knee, coming back to your crescent lunge. Exhale, sweep those arms back down. Step back like you're coming into child's pose. Nice little stretch through the low back. And then inhale to cow. Heart is open, spine is arched. Keep that extension. Exhale, downward dog. Nice big breath in and out. And then wait for a big inhale to take that left leg high, straight up behind you, getting nice and long. Exhale, bend your knee, open up your hip. So you're reaching out through that left knee. You can kind of wiggle around just a little bit if it feels good. Keeping even weight through both hands. Even through the shoulders if you can. Still reaching up. Let it feel really good. Breathing into where you feel the stretch. Still mindful of your right leg on the ground. Don't let your knee or foot be twerking. Good. And then inhale. Stretch out through that left leg. Exhale, bring it across towards your right tricep and hold. Nice big strong breaths. Pull your belly button up to your spine, pressing into your back foot, pressing into your hands. Squeezing here, staying conscious of your breath even as you aren't able to breathe all the way because you're pulling in with your belly. Good. And then inhale, straighten that leg all the way up and back. Exhale, sweep it through. Low crescent lunge on the left-hand side. Inhale, raise your arms, raise your heart, raise the crown of your head. And stay here as you exhale, readjusting a little bit, maybe bringing that left hip back. Squeezing your thighs together. And again, feeling yourself maybe growing up a little bit taller on your inhales. And then take a really big inhale, lifting up a little bit more. And then as you exhale, you can straighten that front leg, keeping your hips pointed straight back, so your sacrum, your tailbone are pointed straight back behind you. And then you can readjust so it's a comfortable pose for you. And then explore with your breath. See what can move and see what stays still. Growing your breath a little bit bigger. Good. And then wait for a nice big inhale. You can bend that front knee, maybe readjust your legs. Coming back to your crescent lunge. Sweeping your heart up, nice and long. Tailbone stretches down. Exhale, sweep your arms down, fingers spread wide as you take your left knee back. Sit back like you're coming into child's pose. Inhale to cow, nice open heart. Exhale, downward dog. Big breath in and a big breath out. And then when you're ready, inhale, look forward between your hands. Exhale all your air. Gently bring your feet to the top of your mat, landing in a forward fold. Relax your face and neck. Inhale, sit into your heels, coming into Utkatasana, chair pose. So you want if your feet are together, your knees are together. If your feet are apart, your knees are as apart as your feet. So your legs are tracked, your tailbone, your sacrum are stretching down behind you in line with your spine. Weight is all in your heels to start, and then begin to shift your weight forward, maybe coming all the way up onto your tiptoes. So your heels lift, your toes are spread wide, your belly is nice and strong. And if you have happy, healthy knees, you can sink all the way down onto your heels. Your heels are still off the floor if you can, so it's like a nice little squat. It should be a little bit restful, actually. And then interlace your fingers behind your low spine if you want a little bit more of a heart opener, bringing those shoulders away from your ears. Tune back in with your breath. Wait for an inhale to release your hands. They sweep all the way up. Come out the same way you came in. If your knees are not happy, don't do the heel up option. Just keep your heels on the ground. And then come back to chair. Inhale, extend all the way up. Mountain pose. Hips reach forward. Exhale, hands to heart center. Taking a few breaths to find your balance. So feel the natural stillness in your body for a moment. And then wait for a big inhale. Take your arms up and overhead. Heart stays open. Exhale, hinge from the hips and fold all the way in half until your fingers touch the ground. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Inhale to a halfway lift. Maybe keep your hands on the ground. Exhale, step your feet back, coming into almost like you're coming into coming into hands and knees, but hover your knees for just a second. Good. And then exhale, sit back like child's pose. Inhale to cow. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Breath in and out. And then wait for your next big inhale. Take that right leg all the way up. Heel stretches to the sky. Exhale, open your hip, bend your knee. Holding here, a couple breaths. And then inhale, straighten, square it up. Exhale, bring your knee across. You can stay here or you can take dancing warrior, extending your right leg, pressing your left hand your right hand into the ground and opening your right arm up. Or left arm up. So it's a nice big stretch. Couple breaths here. Press into your 3 foundation points. Lift your hips up. Your heart spins open towards the left and then towards the sky. And then exhale that hand down. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, step your foot through. High lunge this time. Keep your back leg lifted and super strong. Inhale, come on up. Crescent lunge. Stay here as you exhale, sitting your hips down, maybe hovering that knee a little lower, your back knee. And then inhale, nice big stretch. Exhale, circle your arms down. Hands come to the floor. Turn both feet 90 degrees off towards the right, so your heel comes down. And then inhale your right arm up, coming into a Vashisthasana variation, a nice juicy hip stretch. And then maybe take some nice big circles, coordinating with your breath with that top arm. You can allow your whole body to get into it, letting your hips drop, maybe circling the other way. Just find some movement here that feels really good. Kind of celebrate that sense of fluidity in your body. We're made of 70% water, so it's nice to kind of act like water sometimes. Good. And then exhale, bring that right hand down, feet turn towards the front. Inhale, belly stays strong as you lift all the way up, crescent lunge. Stay here for an exhale. Inhale, press into your feet, lift up. Exhale, circle your hands down, step back. Coming to your high plank, move forward and lower all the way or halfway down for a little vinyasa. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Taking a big breath in and letting it all go. And then next big inhale, left heel reaches up and back. Exhale, bend your knee, open up your hip. Lots of space through the left side for a breath. And then when you find your inhale, stretch it all the way back up, reach up. Exhale, cross your body, straighten your left leg if you have dancing warrior in your practice. So that foot comes to the ground and then your right arm reaches up. So you have your little tripod foundation between your feet and your left hand, and you're getting as long as you can through your arms, through your legs, lifting up with your hips. You're not collapsing in your left oblique muscles. You're staying really long through your left side, reaching your hips up. Heart stays open. Big inhale here, and then exhale, bring that hand back down. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, knee to your nose, step it through. Back leg stays lifted, crescent lunge. Arms reach up, belly is strong. Tailbone points down towards the ground as much as is possible. You don't need to force it, but just kind of guide it that way. Good. Exhale, circle your arms down till they find the mat. Turn all toes 90 degrees towards the left. Inhale your right arm up. And once you find your pose, feel free to take some nice big circles. Moving with your breath, circling one way, letting your hips get into it, letting your spine get into it, then circling the other way. So you're reaching out with your fingertips. There's lots of energy in that circling arm. Sweeping the energy around you nice and clean. Good. And then inhale, stretch up. Exhale, float that left hand down, toes turn forward, press into your feet, squeeze your thighs together, crescent lunge, arms and heart lift up as one. Exhale, circle them down. Bring your knees back like you're hovering them just above the floor in hands and knees, and then set them down, child's pose, sink back. Inhale, right to cow, heart is open. Exhale, hips up and back, downward dog. Taking a big breath in. Out. Inhale, look forward between your hands, get light through your feet. Exhale, all your air, bring your feet to the top, forward fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose, weight in your heels for this one. Maybe bring your knees apart, feet apart to start. And then take your feet a little bit further apart, so about hip width, or about as wide as your mat. Heels can turn in a little bit, feet come out, and then if you've got happy knees, sit down into Malasana, goddess pose. So your tailbone just reaches straight down. You're relaxed through your pelvic floor. Then maybe take your left hand down and your right arm up in a nice big twist. So your left upper arm is pressing into your left knee to open up through the groin, and you're using those muscles in your hips to keep your legs open. Good, and then bring it back to center. And then spread your wings to the other side. So wait for an inhale. Open up. So you're long through the spine. Your crown of your head is reaching forward and up. Your tailbone is still sitting heavy and down. It's okay if this one's a little bit hard. And then coming back to center, we're going to do a little breathing exercise. It's kind of fast, so stop if you start to get dizzy. So big exhale, come to a forward fold. Inhale, sink right back down to goddess pose. Exhale, forward fold, squeeze your spine. Big inhale, explosive exhale, lift your hips up. Back and forth on your own breath. Faster is a little better. You build a lot more energy in this pose. It's a really big sacral chakra charger upper kind of exercise. So back and forth. If you're starting to feel comfortable here and you've found a rhythm, you can add your heels lifting off the ground as you reach up, pressing into your hands. Exhale, reach up with your sit bones. Inhale, heart comes forward, sit bones reach down. Back and forth, couple more. And then when you've had enough, sit on down, spread your legs out, coming into a nice straddle stretch, taking a couple breaths here just to kind of set it up, reaching out through your heels, toes pull up, just sort of catch your breath, let it feel good. And then if it feels good, you can either stay upright or tiptoe your hands forward, coming into a gentle forward bend. And right back to your breath, feeling that cyclical movement. Being able to bring yourself up and forward and then softening down over and over again. And as you breathe, maybe keeping your attention down in your sacrum. You've charged it all up, it might be a little easier for you to find it now. If not, that's okay. This kind of stuff takes practice. Just keep going for it. If you keep imagining it, eventually your brain will send neurons down there. You'll be able to sense it. Good. And then if it feels good, you can just stay here or wait for an inhale to get a little bit longer through your spine. And then exhale your hands over towards the right, staying heavy through your left sit bone. Don't take it too far. Just whatever feels naturally good. If you're really bendy, you can reach around towards that right foot. Maybe kind of taking your right arm to the outside of that right leg and using your breath to open up your heart. Or you can just stay in a nice relaxed forward fold, opening up through your back and your side body. Never force it with yoga. You just allow. That's how true transformation comes. If you force something beyond what it's ready for, you end up getting an equal and opposite reaction at some point. It'll catch up with you. So breathing here. And then wait for an inhale to walk yourself gently, carefully, lovingly back to center, setting up here before taking yourself to the other side. Still heavy through that right sit bone. And just breathe, staying with your breath. The breath is more important than the stretch. Still enjoying that sense of fluidity, that sense of movement within these more still postures. Feeling the energy that you've created in your body through your practice, cycling around through on your bloodstream, down into your fingers and your toes, and then back to your heart. Always happening, more so now than maybe 20 minutes ago. And then wait for an inhale. Bring yourself back to center again. Carefully, compassionately take a breath there, and then walk yourself back up. Use your hands, use your foundation to help you. So for this one, you can either just sit in a cross-legged position, or if you want another little hip opener, you can take fire log or double pigeon, bringing your left leg up on top of your right. Both shins are parallel to the top of your mat. If you're really tight and that's not happening, straighten your bottom leg, your right leg. So find somewhere that's comfortable. We're going to be here a little while. If it's too intense that it's going to be distracting, adjust. So you're going to be doing alternate nostril breathing, a little pranayama. So you're going to take your right hand with your first and second finger. You're going to bring them to your forehead. And then close your right nostril with your thumb and take a big breath in through the left nostril, all the way in, full as you can, holding it at the top, and then closing off your right nostril with your left nostril with your ring finger. You're going to take your thumb away and then exhale out through the right. Full exhale all the way down. Keep your fingers as they are, and then inhale through the right. Holding at the top, and then switch, bringing your thumb to your nose, exhale through the left. And then go back and forth on your own breath, inhaling through the left, closing at the top, back and forth. Enjoy a little bit of a pause at the top of your inhale and at the bottom of your exhale. So just notice that before they sweep right into the next wave of your breath. Notice the little pauses. Enjoy your entire breath cycle. So back and forth. In yogic philosophy, we have two energy channels that go alongside either part of our spine, and this exercise kind of brings balance to those two energy channels. Good. And then finish your breath cycle. Switch your legs. You can shake them out a little bit if they're a little stiff. Take them to the other side. So once you get set up there, if you're cross-legged, you can just stay there. And then we're going to do it again, maybe starting on the other side this time. So keep your ring finger closed on your nose, inhaling through the right. And then on an exhale, you switch. Carry your breath all the way out until there's nothing left. You find that sense of stillness, and then beginning your inhale from the bottom of your belly. So with each breath, see how deeply you can breathe into your lower body, your pelvic floor, staying really heavy in your sit bones, even in the hip stretch. All of your energy to kind of sink down into your body like fluid in a container. Still growing your breath, still staying with your breath, keeping it strong and long even though you're not needing to breathe so deeply now. Back and forth. And then when you finish your round, take your time. You can bring your legs to just a comfortable seat and then just breathe normally through both nostrils. See if you can tune into this super subtle movement back and forth in your body it's actually your cerebrospinal fluid that surrounds your spinal cord. There's a little bit of a wave-like motion. Maybe you can feel it as you sit super still. So you can stay here enjoying stillness for as long as you like. Or if you want one more little integration pose, come down to lie on your back. Feet are hip-width distance apart, knees bent up. And then inhale, squeeze your glutes, lift your hips all the way up towards the ceiling. Knees reach away from your nose, shoulders away from your ears, maybe interlacing your fingers below your spine. And so in this one, I kind of like to imagine all that energy that I brought into the bottom of my body, into my lower body, kind of draining down into my heart and into my throat, like a little waterfall. But whatever works for you. And then when you're ready, one vertebrae at a time, release your shoulders and then let your body sink down towards the floor. You can give yourself a little bit of a hug, squeezing your knees in, rocking side to side, before settling down to your final surrender, Shavasana, the most important pose of your practice. Taking a big breath in and letting it all go. And then releasing control of your breath. Just allowing everything to sink a little heavier into the floor on every exhale. Releasing everything completely.